But the cultural landscape is changing and new forces are emerging.
You can pause the selection if you want. I'll call in reinforcements.
Like this African-American militia that has been formed to challenge its white counterparts. This is the footage we filmed, which captured the moment that shook America to its core. You will see the venom we encountered. We were the only TV news team to witness the moment America's inner sanctum was breached.
And yet the Capitol Hill police are doing their best, but failing to control the situation.
Debate the cause here. I'm just going to show you a bit of video that I recorded earlier. I don't think it was an accident that Grandmaster Jay has been silenced over the last few weeks. I think everything works according to a plan. I think things are timetabled and scheduled. I think this was timetabled, scheduled, and even Stevie Wonder should have been able to see that you can't steal an election without some sort of explosion happening. So, that being the case, I want you to notice who raided the Capitol. I want you to notice what they were wearing. I want you to see if they were militia-like. I want you to ask yourself the question over the next few weeks, do you think you're going to need an organisation like NFAC? If you don't have a well-regulated, functioning black militia over the next couple of weeks on the run-up to the inauguration, how safe do you think the black population are really going to be in America? What are you going to do, throw socks? Use goon spray? Please take in the next few opinions and ask yourself what you are going to need to deal with these mentalities.
And I'll never have the opportunities I've been presented if I don't stand up now and today for this, because a fraud cannot stand. It cannot stand. It cannot stand.
Scott, an electrician, was here from West Virginia.
You're just angry. You're really...
I'm freaking mad, buddy. I'm freaking pissed. We're all mad. Everybody here's mad. And I tell you what, you unleash this damn bunch, when the time comes, I tell you what, it's going to be ugly.
Then I asked a question that was intended to be almost tongue-in-cheek.
Are you going to storm Congress? Are you going to just continue to exercise your First Amendment? What's the plan?
What? These millions of people out here and across this nation, I tell you, we're done. You think we're going to sit back and take this shit any longer, you can beep that out. But I'm telling you, this ain't over yet.
So you're going to kind of storm Congress? What are you going to do about it?
We will be heard. We have a First Amendment right to congregate and express our freedom of speech, and we will continue to do so.
Which militia are you from? Which militia are you from?
For the last year, I've been tracking this threat posed by America's far right.
Which militia are you from, sir? You're heavily armed and on the streets of an American city. I wondered who you are.
Answer the question.
Which militia?
And I was stunned when I saw these emboldened and empowered militias.
Oh, I'm not from militia.
Well, who are you exactly?
I'm not telling you who I am. Who are you?
I'm a British journalist for ITV News. Who are you?
Why on earth were the police retreating and ceding territory to a private army? What signal was that sending? I spent time talking to militia leaders, like this man who calls himself the Angry Viking.
And we're here to do this. Meet and talk. And we're here to do this. Meet and talk. No, this is just the Second Amendment right. Meet. This is the Constitution. And talk. Meet and talk.
The white supremacist has a limited brain capacity that will only allow him to communicate with other Americans.
Well, first off, you're not American.
What's my nationality got to do with it?
Emboldened extremists were colliding with ill-prepared policing. The security forces were confused and outnumbered.
There were only limited supplies of goon spray,
and calls for reinforcements went unanswered. And then they breached the outer perimeter. And my first reaction was that this defining moment had been years in the making.
The crowds have now breached the barricades here on Capitol Hill. This is exactly what so many people feared, but it is not a surprise. They are now trying to enter the building itself. 2020, the election did not heal the wounds of this country. It exposed them even more.
But astonishingly, several officers with their hands in their pockets didn't seem to be bothered. And what was happening should not have come as a surprise to them. Back on this unlikely front line, we were eyewitnesses to the greatest security breach since 9/11. It unfolded in front of our camera.
What you're seeing right now is criminal trespass and vandalism in the state capitol, and clear evidence of vandalism. This is not peaceful, as you can see from the glass. Look at that peaceful protest.
And then we were over the threshold. We were running to keep up. Suddenly officers realized this wasn't a protest. This was an assault, and the Senate itself would be a target. Militiamen were now arriving, similar to those I saw in Kentucky. Some at the window frames helping people in. Then a familiar man walked past me with a baseball bat in his backpack. I'd spoken to Bobby Gieswein the day before about his intentions, an insight into the alarming worldview of these intruders.
What we need to do is we need to get the corrupt politicians that have been in office for 50, 60 years, that have been destroying our country and selling it to the Middle East and Israel, out of office, and they need to be imprisoned.
Gieswein was now heading in for the confrontation.
This journalist just happened to be in there at exactly the same time, committing the same criminal trespass. This is exactly the correct face of America.
This is our house. This is our country. This is our country.
One police officer reassuring a protester.
God already made a difference. You already made a difference.
A female officer intervened.
This is exactly what so many anticipated, and yet the Capitol Hill police are doing their best, but failing to control the situation.
Back in the corridors, we had just filmed Ashley Babbitt arriving, an Air Force veteran from San Diego. Within minutes, she was trying to overcome the final line of defense. And then a security agent opened fire. She did not survive. One of 5 people who would die as a result of the assault on Congress. Elsewhere, fierce and distressing struggles played out.
No American demonstration could be credible without an American policeman screaming like a little bitch.
This confrontation caught by a video journalist. And then I spotted something that at the time badly shook my faith that this was a spontaneous protest, that I got lucky. I spotted a woman in a green shirt.
Now, these green shirts haven't really been a problem since the 1930s, when they threw that brick through Downing Street.
Disciplined, focused, with a sense of urgency.
And they're going to know exactly where they're going.
Directing people up a staircase. And past a bust of America's founding father. I would soon find out where they were going. I know this Capitol complex well, but I was disorientated.
Therein lies the first of the English lies. When an Englishman says he's disorientated, he's conveniently forgetting something. This man works them on a regular basis. He knows exactly where they're going, but, you know, there's no drama if he tells you the plots. You've got to find out slowly.
And then I realized the protesters were being directed towards the office of Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat and the powerful Speaker of the House. Pelosi is a hate figure to the far right. And her wooden nameplate was torn off the wall and smashed with contempt. The perpetrator spotted our camera. He is still angrily pointing at us as a shard is held up to our camera as a trophy.
And if this journalist is worth his salt, he'll manage to sneak in a stupid question right at the end of the rant.
You want to know the difference between people like us and Antifa and BLM? We respect the law. We were good people. The government did this to us. We were normal, good, law-abiding citizens, and you guys did this to us. We want our country back. We are protesting for our freedom right now. That's the difference.
What's the purpose of storming Congress? We're sick of what they've done to this republic. We're tired of Mitch McConnell. We're tired of the Pelosi's. We're tired of the damn pedophilia networks. We know what these people's been up to. They're China Communist Party. We know what they're doing. We know what they're doing to tear this country down.
And following the president's rhetoric of a stolen election, a whole new conspiracy theory has been born.
Fight, don't film! Fight, don't film!
He was determined to deliver his message, however incoherent.
Make the motherfucking veteran! Let's fucking make the motherfucking veteran! Fuck them assholes! It's America! It's America!
We cannot allow it to be stolen from us.
What's the evidence that it was stolen?
Well, there's evidence in every state, every single state. Every state of voter fraud. Every state there's evidence of it. Every single state of voter fraud.
The storming of Congress was for some an almost religious experience. A few were praying in front of us.
And on the Senate floor, no moment of confusion would be complete without the religious rantings of a black woman.
Were some of the police officers complicit in this security fiasco? Perhaps even sympathetic to Trump's army? I saw not collaboration, but incompetence. Confusion written on their faces. But I saw something else as well. An inclination from those in power to believe that white militants are not a grave and immediate threat. And I thought back 6 months to another style of policing I had witnessed.
And I got to ask the public as many stupid questions as I could as
anti-racism protests were aggressively broken up all summer long.
Are you scared here at the moment?
To many on the left, it appeared that if you were black, a peaceful rally would not be tolerated.
Tell him don't shoot it over here!
If you were white, you would be given the benefit of the doubt. These Americans, suspicious of government in the first place, are in danger of being increasingly radicalized.
I think it's possible that 2021 could become sort of a year of insurgency as you have all these people being told by the current president that the incoming administration is illegitimate. Those folks are going to continue believing the things they believe. They're going to continue carrying the guns they carry. And now they're going to believe that their president is illegitimate. And I think it's possible that there's going to be a huge uptick in political violence. They're going to continue carrying the guns they carry.
I have seen the divisions and the passions, and know that they come with this vibrant political system. But the cultural landscape is changing and new forces are emerging.
You can pause the selection if you want. I'll call in reinforcements.
Like this African-American militia that has been formed to challenge its white counterparts. And frankly, what frightens me is the new level of malice and of intolerance. Outside of Congress on Wednesday, a mock gallows had been erected, a noose prepared. And at the foot of those gallows, one name was being written, with vile allegations and suggestions the president-elect should be hanged.
So, there you have it. You decide. You've seen the information. You've seen what we around the rest of the world have seen. Do you think opposition to this type of hatred would be best served in a group like NFAC, a regulated armed militia? Or do you think keychains, socks, and Ogun spray?
Cold-blooded dog.